it's going to be funny because it's starting here, but apparently cashews are a completely suitable replacement for pine nuts. You just toast them and chop them. Apparently it's like we're going to make pesto on Monday or some shit.
Yeah. What do you mean by suitable? Okay. What do you mean by suitable? Same flavor?
I mean, I haven't done it yet. So
you don't even know.
I'll report back. You're a little aggressive on the pine nuts cashew replacement. No, apparently it's like that is the best replacement if you were going to choose any other nut to replace it. Cashews.
Yeah, I wouldn't though. Pine nuts are so important to me in my recipes. No.
What are you making all the time with pine nuts? Do you make a lot of pesto?
No, one recipe in particular, chicken salad with pine nuts. Worth the $11 bag, worth a $40 bag.
It's getting crazy out
toasted.
there.
It's getting crazy out there.
In terms of, I mean, that's such a blanket statement that could cover so many things. But like groceries, Harley and I in the last 2 weeks have spent like $290 on groceries in the last 2 weeks for two people. And it's not like a bunch of wasted money. It's like we're meal planning. This is what we'll do for breakfast. This is what we'll do for dinner for the next 2 weeks. That's how much it costs. Yeah, so when I took a look at the pine nuts, I was like, I'm not fucking paying $11 for the bullshit. No. Cashews is fine. Are we doing this?
Sure.
Is this happening?
Yeah. I'm opening my pages, but I clicked Excel instead. Oh, Lord.
And when you clicked on the page and you opened Excel, like the brightness of the screen, it's like a light got shone on your face. The starkness of an Excel spreadsheet.
Hold on a second. I can't zoom. I wish I knew how to use my computer. I just save everything on the desktop. Okay.
So do I. And then like it becomes like so overwhelming. And then like once a year, I clean up the desktop.
Let me tell you.
I never look at those things again.
Let me tell you how to hack. Create a folder on your desktop and then just take all the shit and put it in the folder. It's gone.
And then never look at it again.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need
also, I have like bill spreadsheets, but they're like bills March, bills April through June, bills going forward, budget.
Bills version 1, bills final. Bill's final 1, 2.
I've actually had Bill's final for sure. I have. Sometimes I'll send them to my email just so that I have them in the event that I'm like not near my computer. But I need to
be the same person.
Just money is tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
and I want so many things.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and nothing like outrageous, like just a house. And us to each have 2 vehicles and to be able to like get groceries. Just to go on a vacation once a year.
Afford pine nuts if I want to.
Yeah, if I want to go nuts. If I want to go pine nuts.
If I want to go pine nuts, I can.
$11. I'd be like, sure, ring it up. What's it to me?
Yeah.
That's not the life I live. I have to factor in pine nuts into my budget.
It's a wild world.
And not even March's budget, but like July's budget. And then I have to like put some money aside. Like in July, I can make pesto.
July budget final 1, 2.
Exactly.
The real one. No, this is the real one. Don't look at the other ones. Okay. Pages. Okay. I'm going to get going here. Welcome to Ghosts, I guess.
Nice.
Okay. Where 2 Canadian ladies get together to talk about weird, supernatural shit that doesn't seem to have a place in normal conversation.
Absolutely.
We talk about our own experiences, invite other guests to share theirs, and at the end of every episode, we will rate how much our conversation and stories convinced us, or didn't, to believe in the paranormal. So, do we believe in ghosts? Hard to say, but please join us as we talk about it anyway. So first,
That was really professional. I just want to
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I'm gonna send it over to my dear friend Rachel for a quickie intro. Tell me, who are you?
Who am I? Well, right now I'm the mother of a dog who won't stop barking, and you might hear that in the background. Stepmother of a dog who won't stop barking.
So it's Nim.
If she keeps it up,
It's Nim.
she may become a ghost herself. No, I won't kill her. Okay. What do you want me to talk about? Just who I am?
Yeah, where are you from, girl?
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's Winnipeg, Manitoba. It is smack dab central Canada. Yes, North America, the world, Earth. I was originally from Ontario. That's how we met in high school. We've been friends for going to be 20 years. Ew. 20 years. That's nuts.
I have to apologize in advance. I'm going to be burping this entire time. I just can't stop myself. It's the angle of this chair.
Oh,
you hear that?
Was it gurgly?
That was my belly because I have issues. I can maybe buzz that out later, but I don't know. I don't care that much.
If no, let them know who you are. Be real. Be real. Ever since you told me to take that pill for my heartburn, I feel a lot better.
Do you take the same one as me?
I do. I told my doctor just prescribe it to me. Stop fucking around. And now it's great.
You know what? I started taking it in pregnancy, and I felt better in pregnancy than normal in terms of the heartburn, obviously.
Oh.
It's fucking fantastic. I take it every day. I drink my wine. I have my coffee.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's eating my bones or something, but
probably, but we're all just going to die anyways. So,
yeah, beer and coffee is very important.
Right? Enjoy your life. But exactly that, I had to refill my prescriptions. Not interesting. And I missed 2 days of it and I had instant heartburn. So,
and it's painful.
It is.
Painful shit, man.
Yeah. Not anymore, though.
Good.
Take that little pill.
Not good.
It's all gone. We're supported by Big Pharma, just so everyone knows.
We are sponsoring or being sponsored by Pantoprazole.
100%. Okay, so about me, I identify as a queer woman. I'm in a lesbian relationship with my life partner, whose name is Carly. Comes up a lot, so it's probably good that you have that information. I have 2 children of a 4-legged nature. One is a small, fluffy Japanese chin. One is a big-headed, grumpy pit bull. I work at a bank, and I would much rather be doing creative endeavors. I also like to play music. And now here we are. How about you, Kim? What's your story?
I mean, who am I? I don't fucking know anymore.
That's what we're hoping to discover in this podcast. We thought it was about ghosts. It's figuring out who Kim is.
Who is Kim's ghost? Yeah. I'm in Ontario. Don't know why. Just landed here, I guess. Wish I wasn't.
It's kind of a wasteland there now.
It's for me. It's not for me. Apologies, but it's okay for a lot of people. Lots of great things here, no offense, but I prefer to be living on the East Coast.
That's where your people are from.
That's where my heart is. That's where my soul is. It's where everything is. Where I belong. But we're here, and that's all right. That's okay.
And Ontario is also in Canada. Well, I don't know.
Also on the earth. In the earth of the earth, yeah. I'm a mom. Yeah. Isn't that weird to say that?
No, it makes a lot of sense to me. I've met the offspring. She's the cutest thing ever.
Pretty biased, but I can't understand how cute she is.
Listen, Carly has some friends who have kids, and they're cute. I really like them. Randy's cuter. I'm just saying.
They're gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, no, she's not. My kid's cuter. Because everybody thinks their kid is cutest. And I
But
think
I have
it's
no skin in the
biological.
game. I have no skin in the game. I have no child.
But you love me and you love Johnny, so you're gonna think she's the cutest.
Well, I do love Carly's friends also. I mean, not to the same extent because
Good.
that 20 years.
Yeah.
But anyways, friend's cute. Continue your story.
She's fucking fantastic. She's so fucking cute. Yeah, she's 6 months. She will be coming into this podcast as a topic quite often because she kind of sparked this whole thing, man. She really did.
Your whole world.
I was a little spiritual before. I had some ghostly things before, but like pregnancy, things got real. Having two spirits in one body, things got pretty weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope one day I will know that.
Like, I had two spirits in my body.
One of those is yours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My own.
Yeah.
Plus her little spirit entered my body and just stayed there for 9 months.
Wild.
And it was there was some weird moments. I was very oddly connected to
your baby.
Weird shit happened. Anyway.
And we're going to get into it. Like, there'll be things that come up and explained, right?
You bet.
I feel like I didn't make any mention of why I like paranormal things or,
well, why do you like paranormal things? I don't know. Why?
I think that there are things that occurred that I saw, that I experienced when I was younger that really like kind of gave me the heebie-jeebies, but that also really, really intrigued me. And since then, it's always been like, you always meet someone and like, if they are someone who also likes to tell the ghost stories or the spooky stories, it's like, oh, let me tell you about when this happened. Let me tell you about when that happened. And they're like, no way, that's so fucking crazy. And
yes.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world, my absolute favorite thing in the world is getting together with a group of girls, having some wine and talking about spooky shit, scary stories. And that's just like what I hope this is. Because there's nothing better at night than turning on I listen to a podcast every single night. And all I want to do is just like have someone talk about scary stories in my ear as I fall asleep. And just,
so that's interesting.
I want to listen to that. It makes me feel comfort. Yeah.
I love hearing scary stories right before bed. Not a good thing for me. I'll get scared.
Yeah. But even if you're sleeping with Carly in the same house.
Yeah. So like, I'd be more scared if I was alone. Yeah. But yeah, if she fell asleep and I was just, like, and I had listened to something spooky, I'd probably feel pretty scared. But I like, it's intriguing. Kind of like why I like anything to do with true crime as well. It's like, it's kind of scary. It's kind of frightening, but it's very interesting. And you're just like, whoa, that is weird. Because we exist in this, in this realm of like getting up, going to work, doing your life, having a partner, having a family, and just like, we're on this one plane of existence. And then this idea that there's this whole other thing that's happening that occasionally we can like tap into or experience is pretty, I don't know how anyone would not find that interesting unless they were just like a basic bitch or something. I don't know.
Some people don't think about this at all. That's the interesting thing too. Like I spend a great portion of my life like thinking a lot about this and having weird experiences. And I just don't think a lot of people do. John is desperate for an experience, desperate to feel something. He just can't. He's just like, I've never felt anything.
It's funny because like, I would sometimes like, I say it's like, there's been experiences where I've been in a place that I can feel an energy. I just like, I'm attuned to it. And I know it's like, there's something going on. And I guess maybe from some of the stuff that happened when I was younger, like I will just be like, no, just like shut it down. Be like, I will not. So I think you can close yourself off to it knowingly, or maybe like not knowingly. And they're not gonna the interaction's not gonna happen if you're like a closed door.
My friend Hannah says she has to like turn it off.
Wow.
She has to like turn it off. Okay, so why don't we set a baseline right now on a scale of 1 to 5? Do you believe in ghosts, Rachel? 1 is not at all. 5 is absolutely.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Let me think. I mean, yes. First of all, I'm just gonna say yes, and then I'll put it in the scale.
Okay. And then I have a follow-up question. So
okay, so maybe I should, because maybe the follow-up question will kind of, maybe I'll wait to hear that. But I would say like definitely a 4. The 4 feels 3.54, I would say.
That's strong. Okay, so what, I guess I should have asked this first. What does ghost mean to you? What is that to you? When you say you believe in ghosts, you believe, well, you're just like some dead person that like stuck around? Is that what you think it is? And they can communicate with you?
This is actually, you very organically kind of went into what I was going to say. So I think lately, like Carly and I were watching like Ghost Hunters, or there's one specifically, and I'll figure out exactly what it is, but there's one specifically, this one show where the man is like, it's almost as if he's on cocaine the whole time. Like he's just like, what the fuck? Like it's like over the top, throwing out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We both hate it and love it, but was watching a lot of that recently. So then it made me think about the fact that like, it was essentially, I'm just giving that as an explanation as to why it's just something I only recently thought about. But I feel like ghosts are maybe like, it's just like an imprint. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're a being. I think that they're like somehow just like left, an imprint of them is left somewhere, and it can somehow be connected to some sort of traumatic thing. And that imprint just goes on and on and on. Like, you know, when you go into those, like here in Winnipeg, we have this like place that you can go. It's like a science-y type thing for kids. You go into this room and it's all these mirrors. And when you're like stand in like a certain part of the mirrors, like you can see yourself going on forever. Just like your image, like no matter which way you look, it's going to be like 1,000 of you behind you, 1,000 of you in front of you. Like that's, to me, it's just like there. Yeah. I don't know if I think it's like an actual entity.
This is important for the listeners. So I'm going to put that out there. We've never talked about this before. Like we didn't practice. I didn't ask you. I joined a paranormal podcast without ever knowing if you actually believed in ghosts or not, or what your opinion is.
I didn't write that down.
Just put it out there. I will also say, I believe ghosts are an imprint.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're just not copying my answer?
I might be. No, I believe ghosts are an imprint. I do not believe it's like someone who has passed and just like stuck energy and they're trying to tell us. Absolutely not. I believe it's an imprint. It's like, or some sort of like connecting into another realm of that like same, because I swear to God, there was a time when I captured like John in our living room, but it was just like a ghost of John. And I was like so sure this was John, but it wasn't. He was downstairs.
This is like, an imprint.
Yeah. I was just like, that's probably just, I don't know, him in another realm, or like, I don't even know. I have no idea. I just know what I think it isn't, which is like some old lady from 1820 in a long nightgown running up and down the stairs. Like, I do not believe that. I just don't.
Well, and it opens up this whole conversation about like people who have like night terrors and like, are they actually, I've had all these experiences where I've seen like a scary whatever, usually a ghost or creature at the end of my bed staring at me.
So in Newfoundland, we call those old hags. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yes.
I like that.
They're called old hags, which is like the most terrifying thing to name sleep paralysis ever.
Yeah, it makes me think of like The Ring.
Yeah, that's terrifying. But I think weird things can happen during old hags. I've definitely had weird things happen during old hags.
Well, you could be tapping into something else in your subconscious, mother layer of
Jeez, maybe
dimensions. But the thing that's interesting about that is that, like, to this day, I will have dreams, and Finnegan, it's like he's visiting me. Sorry, to the listener, Finnegan is my baby boy, my little dog who passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And yeah, no, it's not all the time, but like in that moment, I'm very aware, like, oh, you're not alive anymore, but you're here with me. Like that kind of like is different than the imprint theory.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very strange. Very strange. Before we get into a story, do you want to do that psychic test?
Sure. Like the drawing?
The
drawing? Yeah.
The drawing. Okay, we'll do that. How about this? We do a little psychic test.
Yeah.
Have some fun. Listeners can participate. And then I'm going to go have a pee-pee. And then we'll come back and we'll tell some spooky stories.
So you're going to pee and I'm just going to chill for a bit?
Sure. Yeah. In podcast land, we can edit it all together.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
You don't have to like just sit there while I'm tinkling in the other room.
Yeah. No, but you were talking about drawing. That's happening after you come back?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do the psychic test together.
Okay. Do you want, like, I think you should be the first one that draws. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to be looking at.
Okay, let's do it. You're doing it now on your, I'll bring open the whiteboard.
Just so people understand what's happening. The psychic test is that I will pull up an image, a Google image. Kim has no prior knowledge of what this Google image is. And I'm going to send it telepathically. And we're going to see if Kim intuitively can figure out what it is that I'm looking at. And she's going to draw it on the whiteboard, which, I mean, you're not going to see, but we'll probably put it up on some sort of social media at some point.
Let me tell you, it hasn't worked before.
We've done a couple of trial runs and it doesn't work very well. So I don't know what
the plan is. We're going to get better.
Yeah. We're going to become more psychically connected.
And the listeners are going to be able to do it along with me and determine if they were close.
Even a little bit close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Maybe we'll do an Instagram or something. We can post the picture and they can go and they can see.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea because, I mean, you're better than I am, but people can just see the artwork because it's exceptional. And when I say exceptional, I don't mean that it's good. It's just like exceptionally bad.
Let's do it. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to think.
Okay. I thought you were going to pee. We're doing this now?
Yeah, I'm going to pee after this.
Oh, okay. Let me just see what we can pull out of here.
I'm focusing. I'm getting in the zone. I'm getting into zone. I can see like the screen lighting up your face.
You can't see it on my face.
No.
Okay, I got it. Can add it?
All right, you're thinking hard about it? Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. This is fucking weird. I'm going to draw now. How do you draw this? Okay, this is what came to my head. I'm going to describe to you what's going on here. Boop, 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 boop.
This I will say without giving anything away, this is an odd thing that I'm looking at.
I mean, don't give me any hints. Okay.
I'm not.
I know this looks like a magic carpet, but what it actually is,
It's like a whole new world to me.
this is what this actually is. I'm just gonna put this here. Sandbox. Okay. And then I'm seeing a lot of sand, and I'm seeing a playground. That's a swing. Hey.
So just so I'm understanding, you're seeing like a park.
No. Well, sure. I mean, but mostly I'm seeing the sandbox and the sand and the beige, and then this little like swing set, and this is grass.
Yeah, I figured it was grass. Oh, that's funny. This is interesting. Really interesting. So it's just like a scenic. You're just seeing like a scene.
Sure. Let me think about this.
I'm gonna try to send it a little more clearly.
Okay.
Is that a very thin piece of pizza?
This, my friend, is a carrot. And I'm seeing that because my name is Kimmy Carrots, and now I'm seeing a carrot.
I'm concerned you're not open to receiving what I'm sending because you're fixated on carrots.
It could be true.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen.
Wait a second.
Oh.
We're gonna give it one more go.
You're gonna try again? We haven't even seen what it is.
No, I know, but give me 1 second. You know what? It takes a while to send a message over Zoom.
Right.
To receive it.
I'm sending it.
Okay. I saw a shark. I don't know. Here's a shark fin. And he's mad. He cute though. Okay. Show me what you have here.
Okay. So first I just want to say the second one's a lot closer. As the host, you need to allow me to share my screen. Oh yeah. Here we go. Can you see it?
Weird. I mean,
I
was not at all close.
But in some ways,
sand though.
That's what I'm saying. In some ways you were. And then you did a shark, which is a sea creature.
Yeah. Like all I was seeing was the sand, and I was just like, it's not like a beach scene. And then I was like, what makes sense for a sand? Sure, a sandbox. I could draw a sandbox, and I drew that fucking swing because I was like, that will make sense.
I would, out of a 10, and being like, you hit this out of the park, you nailed it, I'd give it like a solid
2.5.
Yeah, that's pretty good though, because like before
2.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
girl, no, this is at least a 5.
It's not a 5. I'll give you,
because it's like I'm not here to get the octopus. I'm here to like pick up on the vibes, which is sand
and the sea and the sea creature. I'll give you a 4.
I'm not leaving here until I get a 5.
I can't give you that.
I touched on elements.
Right.
It's great. Okay.
Pretty good. You did pretty good that time. Better than we have done in the past.
I'm feeling good about it. Yeah. Okay. Why don't we take a little break now, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about a spooky story.
That's great.
Great.
Okay, go pee.
Okay, I have to go pee pee.
How was your pee? Satisfying?
Most aren't. That was an okay one.
Why are they not satisfying?
I mean, I gave birth 6 months ago, and things are weird.
Oh yeah. That's interesting. Are y'all torn up to shit down there or what?
Girl, no, I'm great.
That's sarcasm?
No, it's just weird to pee sometimes. I'm figuring it out.
I went and got a couple pickles, but I'm not going to eat them on here. I will eat them, but you won't hear me. And before the break, I alluded to the fact that I would be the first to tell my story, but that's before I selfishly decided that I would be eating. So, Kim, tell me your story. I actually don't even know. Like, I think I alluded with my story that it's when I was a kid, stories from when I was a kid, but I have no idea what you're going to tell. So I'm on the edge of my computer chair seat, ready to receive what you are ready to give.
Okay, you can mute yourself now to eat your pickles. All right. You've never looked happier. You're vibrating in your chair. Okay. I mean, I have a lot of stories. And I'm also strangely the world's biggest ghost cynic or paranormal cynic, which is odd because I have so many weird things to happen and I love it and I talk about it so much and I've had so many weird things happen.
I don't think I knew that you were a cynic.
That's what everyone said. Literally, Hannah said the exact same thing to me. She's like, I didn't know you were a cynic. And I was like, well,
now is that, do you think that's specific to ghosts, or do you think just like overall you're just a cynical person? So it's like
to ghosts and paranormal. I'm just very like, maybe that was the cat. And then the cat's sitting next to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like a ghost walks across the living room and I'm like, maybe that was the cat with a white sheet on him. I don't know.
You're just trying to watch your queer eye and like an old hag just floats by.
Yeah.
Green. You're like, not today. I'm trying to enjoy myself.
Not today. Anyway, which reminds me of my dad, because I think this whole desire to share ghost stories and talk about ghost stories comes from my parents, my mom and dad, because we were just like, we're poor as shit. So we would just like drive around, go on long trips, long drives when I was younger, and they would just like tell spooky stories and the lights would be off on the dark road and they would tell me that. And my dad had the craziest fucking stories ever. But
were your parents also, like, are they very much believers?
So my mom is, my dad isn't. And he has all the stories. My mom has no real experiences and she loves this shit. And my dad is just like, oh yeah, I died as a kid and I floated above my body and watched the doctors work on me and but that's not real. And I'm like, you had a near-death experience, Dad. We had a shared ghost experience. Did I tell you that?
You and your father?
Yeah.
I was
having a ghost experience of my own, terrified as shit. And he was also having one, watching the exact same thing. And then I found out about it the next day. That's a story for another day.
I think so. Yeah, I think you told me about that.
But if you asked him if he believed in ghosts, he'd be like, no. Do you believe in this? Do you believe in no? He's got the craziest stories.
Is it like self-preservation? Like what? You just like, no, it's nothing to be scared about.
No, it's the exact same as me. Where I'm just like, no. But here's my story. I got this ghost story. But no, it's not real. Anyway. Okay.
Your ghost story.
We'll figure it out.
Be comfy.
So we'll go back to when it started with me. We all know it all starts early. But one of the ghost stories I was told was about my own, something weird I did as a kid. So that's kind of where the intrigue starts, right? So in Newfoundland, I don't know if you know, I have this like fantastic earthy childhood where it's just like, go outside. I would just go outside and just run in the forest, and that's life, man. My mom would see me.
You were a feral child.
I was a feral child. I would just go, I'd come home completely covered in mud. Like it's just, there's nothing but forest, and it's just beautiful. Cold.
I mean, I've never been. I want to go there so badly.
It's a miraculous place. But anyway, there's not much around. And like in the summer, you do what you can to keep busy. And like Ontario, we have like Canada's Wonderland, and even smaller town cities have like, they have water parks and Great Wolf Lodge. But like in my town, we had like a highway, which was lined to the edge. So I'm trying to paint a picture here, lined to the edge with like rock and dense forest. And then suddenly, like 15 minutes out of town, out of nowhere, after seeing like forest for like 15 minutes, you just suddenly have a bit of an opening on the side of the road. And then you just randomly have this tall, faded, like shitty ass big blue water slide. And like, and like a shack.
Wait,
I'll show you a picture later. You have like a shack, a siding shack, and it's just like maybe an attendant booth or something. But honestly, it's like Newfoundland, so they probably just have like a bucket in the honor method to pay.
How many people are murdered by serial killers?
I have no idea. Probably very few.
Bodies just dumped
in this like water slide.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what we had. It's called like Thunderland Amusements, but it's just one slide in the middle of the forest, 15 minutes off the highway, and maybe an attendant booth. And then like at the bottom of the water slide is this big, it's not big, it's a small blue rectangular pool that like you land in when you come down the water slide. You land in.
There's water in it, right?
Yeah, it's a water slide. It's a pool.
The way you're describing it makes it seem like it's just the jankiest.
It is the jankiest.
Like there's just a small puddle in the bottom of the pool
It's
that you may or may not.
Very small rectangular concrete, painted blue, tiny, tiny pool. You can't swim in it. It's like you just land in it. You go down the water slide, you land in this thing. Okay. That's what it is. It's just a gay old time. Like everybody loved it. It's just like, that's, I don't know. You walk to the top of the water slide. It's manned by like some 14-year-old being paid $2.50 an hour.
Probably doesn't even have their like whatever you need to be.
No, that you should not trust your children with this person, but like whatever. So you sit down at the top and like I can still feel my cold little ass on this slide, because it's just like water pumped in from the fucking Atlantic Ocean or something.
Just a bidet right up your beehole.
Yeah, it's just fucking freezing. Everything is so cold. But like whatever, because this is the only thing you do in summertime. And like you're just happy mom could afford the gas, and it's like $10 admission to get in. Who knows? And it was like a treat. This is like the pinnacle, going to the water. This is the pinnacle of excitement. So you're sitting there and like the water's rushing past your cold little tookers, and and then the guy who's probably 14 says, "Okay, go." And you're like, "Sure, man." And then you let go, and like you have the best 10 seconds of your life, and you go down the slide, and you land in the pool, and then it's just like rinse, repeat, and then you have to go back up, and like that's the only thing you can do. So the story is that, now that you know what it is that my mom first brought me here to Thunderland Amusements with my grandma, so her mother, and probably like a gang of sisters and cousins when I was like sincerely far too young to be at a water slide. Like, no shade to my mom, it's tough to keep a small kid occupied, but like I was obviously too young.
Were you the age of that Fran is right now? Not even 1 year old.
No, I was probably like 2, 3, like whatever, bless her heart.
Whole other conversation about like kids that were born in like the 80s and grew up in the early 90s and the way we were parented. But that's a whole other conversation. But continue your story.
So anyways, it was too wee to go on the slide, obviously, because that would have, I've just yeeted out of the top and landed in the forest somewhere. So she just like thought, hey man, you know, I'll put you in the rectangular pool at the bottom of the slide.
Right. Like the one that no one swims in.
No one swims in it. It's just big enough and full of water for the water to land in from the water slide, and people coming down land in it, and then they get out.
Was it not dangerous for you to just be chilling there as a small child while people are like just flying off the water slide into this small pool.
You would fucking think.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So 2-year-old hanging off the side of this pool. I can't swim. I'm 2. I can probably still shit my pants. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the kids come down the slide and like the water splashes up and it sprays you and it's fun, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So, no, it wasn't fun because my mom, who usually she had like anxiety about this stuff, like let me out of her sight for a second. She was talking to the lifeguard. And in that second, someone came down from the water slide and like a wave filled the pool and swept me away from the edge. So I was probably just like, like I just was swept away from the edge.
It was near drowning.
Yeah, I don't have life jacket. I'm wearing a tiny hat. I'm just wearing a tiny hat. And I'm just
Is it like one of those cute little bucket hats that like kind of curled up? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And just jet black hair. Just, did I mention I couldn't swim? Like I can't swim.
Can you swim
obviously. Now? Yes.
You learned?
Yeah, I did. I did learn. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just an incredibly small human at this point. And my mom was occupied with the lifeguard. So the lifeguard was occupied. And anyway, I just gave into the light, I guess. And I just went with it and just fucking died for a minute. Wait, but anyway.
Yeah. Is this a story of you dying?
Well, it is my near-death experience that I do not remember. Okay. But my mom says that she turned around and she didn't see me at the edge anymore, obviously, because I'd been thrown away from it.
Just tossed.
Yeah. Like no shit. But quote, my little hat was just like floating along the top of the water.
Oh my God.
along with like a shock of black hair. And my mom being like the literal Amazon woman that she is. If you've ever seen this woman, she's just like a powerful, like get into action woman. She literally like bent over the edge of the pool and reached in and grabbed me up by my hair.
Well,
and just
gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
She just yeeted me out of the pool by my hair. Because that's how you do it when your kid's drowning, when you put a 2-year-old in a pool without,
it's a choice.
Life jacket or anything, and walked away. But the rest is fuzzy. And I literally sincerely get a different fucking story every time I ask. So I'm just going to give you like the key high level details as I recall them being told to me originally.
Hit me with it.
But apparently I recalled to my grandma that when I came to, a man had visited me in the water.
Okay.
So there's a man with me in the water.
Interesting. He was in the water.
He stayed with me. His face was in the water. Not a full body of a man, but like his face was in the water. And he said, I was going to be okay. And I had to go back with my mommy. He said I had to go back with her. Then he told me, so there was something about, I told my grandma about my mom was painting the bathroom and how it was going to be peach or mint green and how she was choosing a color. And I had to tell my mom what color to go with. And that's how she'd know that I was like protected and with this man in the water. So apparently this little 2-year-old was just like talking about the man in the water, how I was going to be safe. So apparently my mom was contemplating painting the bathroom between those two colors, like the peach and the mint green. I chose mint green. And then when I said this, like everybody fucking freaked out.
Well, yeah, that's insane.
Right. And like, I don't remember any of this. Like, I do not remember. I just remember being a child and people talking about this story and talking about how like the man visited me in the water and told me it was going to be fine. Like I had to go back with her.
Yeah. Like it wasn't your time to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
And, like something about like the bathroom and like the color
to prove the validity that you weren't just like making up stories, essentially.
Yeah. And like also apparently I was too young to like know about this. Like it was a weird thing for me to be saying.
That's
and
like
I know
we've talked about like
Oh, I was just gonna say I cannot wait for Franny to start talking weird shit.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like, we
Yeah.
talked briefly about how kids, and I think we'll have probably like a whole episode about this. That'll be better researched, but but like that kids, there's something about there's so many instances that I've heard of over like the 37 years of my life, 38 anyway, that where kids are like, yeah, like, like they'll, my imaginary friend, whatever. And then, all this time passes and, oh yeah, that's just your imaginary friend. And then all of a sudden they see a picture of like their uncle who died when they were,
Oh yeah.
with the uncle died in like in their childhood. And then, oh, that's so-and-so. That's and you're just like, I'm not doing a good job explaining, but there's something I feel like the kids are more.
They're tapped in, man.
Yeah. Like I don't know, like you're more pure as a child. So you're just like open,
Yeah.
I think, to like, when you're a kid, you're so like wonderment is so at your disposal. It's so close to you. And like, you're not going to be a cynic about it. You're going to be like, oh, wow. And it's like that openness almost kind of seems to bring in that sort of like paranormal, otherworldly ghost experiences that don't make any sense.
I wish I remembered this. I wish I had any recollection. All I remember is just like being told about it from everyone in my family for multiple years.
Yeah, that's wild. That's kind of like my story too is something that happened when I was a kid, and it's hard. Like there's parts that I remember, like firsthand remembering, but then some of it's hard for me to discern what is memory and what is the story I was told because I was quite young.
I love that. Okay, hold on.
I'm not saying that I'm like taking over for my story now. If you have,
I want to show you a picture that I found of this
of me.
No, of this place, and I want to see if you pictured it in the same way that I described it. I don't know how to do this. Hold on. Share screen.
Oh wow!
Is this what you pictured?
Yeah, that's not what I pictured.
What did you picture?
I feel like I was picturing more like rock along the sides, kind of like this.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it definitely looks like a little dilapidated shack. Like, where's the actual?
Right here.
Oh,
I'm gonna get a better picture.
Does it still exist?
Yeah, I think so. It's called Thunderland Amusement Park. And it's one water slide. God
also,
bless.
Thunderland. I don't know why. I think it's because I think of Alaska Thunderfuck. Every time I hear Thunderland, I'm like, that's innately sexual to me for some reason.
Yeah. It's a bit wild. Also, it's next to a place called Leech Brook where we would go swimming. Leech Brook.
Do you think that, because like in my story, I did a little bit of like history of the area, to like sort of like provide maybe some insight into why it seems there is so much paranormal activity. So like, do you think what is you're not going to know the answer, but just like, what is your perception, your insight into like, who's this guy? Like, did he drown in this like janky pool, or did he drown in the lake, or like, did he, because like we have decided, at least at the beginning of this episode, that we believe ghosts are imprints.
Yeah.
So if we're going based on that hypothesis, what do you think the situation is with this man that like came to you as a child?
Maybe just like a spirit. Like, I think the things that I see are imprints, but I also do believe that energies can visit. I don't fucking know, Rachel. Don't ask me this. I don't know.
Are there other stories that you'll tell at a different time where there was like other instances where you were like being sort of protected by a spirit?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be the same person?
Okay, so
Spirit.
oddly enough, I had a psychic session with Jim Hunt, and he said there was a man protecting me.
Interesting.
Yeah. He also told me, which I fully believe, that I was a man in every other life, and I asked to come back as a woman and be in this body. And I'm like, I get it. Absolutely. And then John did a session with him.
He's like, you were always a woman.
He was like, you were always a woman and you asked to come back as this man, but like you were a woman lawyer, English, like London. And John was like, absolutely believe this.
Did he know that John was your husband?
No.
Hey, that's weird.
Yeah. He told me some stuff about myself that I was like, this man knows me better than I know myself.
We should try to get him on this podcast.
He's fantastic. If you ever want, it's just like if you ever want to try a session with someone, if you're ever curious about that, like I would just recommend him. It was a very interesting session. And he also predicted like, okay, I'm just very quickly going to get into this. My second session with him. When I was pregnant, I was very early pregnant. And I had the name Lily, just like in my head. I wanted it to be Lil or Lily or
you told me. You said it's it's going to be Lily.
But I hated that name, Lily. But I knew it had to be. I didn't understand, but I just knew that had to be there. And I had this session with him. And he was just like, Lil, do you know a Lil or a Lily? She's coming through. And I'm like, that's my daughter. Like, I'm pregnant. And he was just like, that explained, like, out of nowhere, those things. And I just like fucking lost it. I was like, and it also confirmed for me at that point that like her spirit was in there. Like, this was going to be okay. Like, I fully got it. And then like later on, the Lil Lily, actually the day after, the day she was born, it all made sense what that was about. But yeah, I figured it out. I like totally get it. But yeah, I would recommend him.
Like I would like to, I don't know, does he do like I obviously don't live in London, so would he do something for Zoom?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll reach out. What was I was gonna get into something here. Oh, can I show you one more thing?
Yep.
Just because you asked. This is what it looks like.
Oh, that's less janky than I thought.
It is?
Yeah.
What is this little hut that's built into the earth?
Yeah, that's weird, but I can understand why kids would find this exciting.
Yeah, it is the only thing in the town to do.
Yeah.
For sure. And it was pretty exciting. I loved it.
I will say, like, it is interesting that your mother would just be like, hang out in this little, because I'm sure there's kids like all the fuck over that place.
Yeah.
And I would be so concerned. Like, this is not against your mother specifically. I just mean parents prior to our generation. I'm just really amazed that they're just like, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. I have no fear of you just dying.
Yeah.
Like,
she had all the fear in the wrong areas. Anyway, here I was holding on to here. Water came down. I gushed and died, I guess, or didn't.
Yeah. Or like you could have, but the guy's like, no.
It's like, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
That's wild.
Anyways, yeah.
Did you ever watch? Let me just make sure we're not going to get into like I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I just want to make sure I'm calling it the right thing. TV show on Netflix.
Yeah. Cutting out.
Did you ever watch The OA on Netflix?
I did. I loved it until like the end where I was just like, I don't understand. I don't know.
I didn't actually finish it completely, so I should actually go back and watch it. But the first season blew my fucking mind.
Absolutely.
The last episode was so beautiful. I sobbed.
Yeah. It was a beautiful show. And I think the end started to let me down a bit. And I also forget a lot about it. I just know I was never really as into it as the beginning and the middle.
Yeah.
But it was on another level.
It was really, really good.
Another level.
Yeah.
Also, there's another show on Netflix that you need to watch. Jeez Louise, what's it called?
And then I'll tell you my story. Because I think my beautiful wife has dinner ready.
Ooh, what do you
Not that that's more important than this. It's not. It's just that she'll be like, "You gonna eat this food I made for you?" Or
okay, it's called Surviving Death.
Oh, I think I've heard
Netflix.
I heard about it. I heard about it from I don't want this to be something that people hear, but I heard about it from someone who I hate now. So I never.
It really, really sums it up for me. Fully sums. It's like it is. So good.
What's it called again? Sorry.
Surviving Death.
Surviving Death. Okay.
About near-death experiences.
Check it out. I'm kind of like scared, but there's some things I'll just watch. Like yeah, that's like a Sunday late morning type of thing that I'll watch, where like I can go live the rest of my day and not fearful. Like if someone's going to give me the heebie-jeebies, there's only certain times that I'll watch it.
Do you feel like there's something when you get the heebie-jeebies? Do you feel like there's something in your house or something attached to you, or that you're opening yourself up to things that are there that normally you're not open to?
I think it opens something up, and it also like it makes it present in my mind. Like I think human beings are really good at just compartmentalizing. So if in some ways I have this belief that like there's like different dimensions or levels in this world, I'm almost certain of it. And everything's just made up of geometry. I don't know. And like when you, I don't know, it like kind of connects you to whatever's happening somewhere else. Like that's in the same place, but obviously on some other level. And it just freaks me out. It's easier just like, sometimes it's easier just like, I'm plugged into the Matrix, you know? I'm plugged into the world that people want to see. And when that curtain's, when it feels like it's lifted, even if it's more like figuratively, it just sometimes is creepy. Like when people talk about aliens, not that we're going to get onto that tangent because that's an entirely different podcast, but like,
listen, no, it's not. No, it is not in my world. It is not.
Okay, well, I guess we'll do aliens.
Ghosts are aliens to me.
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many ways that this podcast could go. Like, I mean, if you think about like, I watched an entire thing on YouTube about the Sphinx and how it was built. Something crazy.
Girl, send me that link. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, I'll go find it. But yeah, no, I don't know. I do also sometimes think like ghost things can like freak me out, but I'm less scared of that versus like real life things. Like if I watched a sort of serial killer thing, like there's some weird creepy man who could come into my house,
and it would be a man. It would
be a white man.
It's always a white man.
A white cis man.
He gonna get you.
Yeah, it's gonna come get you. But like I don't know. I just when I do get creeped out, it's like I used to be so scared of the dark as a kid, like terrified of the dark.
Yes.
And I think it was like, yeah, it's like if you sit and you think about it, if you're gonna like put your thoughts into like, oh my God, you know, this could be happening, or there could be something lurking, or there could be somebody in the house, or there could be a spirit, you know, or like what am I here? Like, oh, I'm home alone. I'm watching something. What did I just hear? Like, just, I don't know. The unknown is just freaky.
The unknown is freaky. It's probably some like protective
anxiety.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, anxiety, my old friend.
Yeah. Are we getting into your story on the next podcast or on this one?
Oh, I don't know. Up to you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Have you ever seen something with your eyes that you feel like was a ghost? Or has it always just been a feeling?
I've never seen a person or an image. There's things that have happened that are physical things that are peculiar or strange. There are stories, like I personally haven't. There are stories that I have heard from my family where they've like seen physical things. Oof. Which we'll get into in a different podcast. But no, for me, it's more like, I think that there's a part of me is, I think I mostly felt it when I was younger, though there are some instances, young adult, where I felt it. But, and I think there was, like when you said your friend had to like shut it off, I feel like I was aware that if I didn't nip it in the bud, almost this idea that I had a sensitivity to it, so I could feel it. Like I can walk into, remember when I was looking for my first house, like going and taking a look at places, we went, no, we need to leave here immediately. Like it just felt so bad. It felt heavy, foreboding, scary, icky. And I'm like, oh, we just have to get out of here. So like, I've been very aware of those feelings, or like my story, like being tormented by really terrible, scary dreams. So like, I do feel like it is like, I'm sensitive to it, and I'm somewhat of a conduit to it, but like, I feel like I have knowingly like been so scared, like being aware that it's there, but being so scared of it. It's not wonderment. It's not like, oh, I want to experience this. I want to, be open to it. It's like, I feel it and it doesn't feel good. And I've just shut it down. So I've never actually physically seen it. And I think that's probably why.
Yeah. You know what's really weird? And this maybe explains what I'm trying to say when I say cynical. It's because I think everything's an imprint or whatever. But then it's like my thoughts aren't lining up with what I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, so like, yeah, I think we're saying,
house,
yeah.
Like,
I think we're kind of saying the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah. Like I lived in this house where I had the weirdest feelings. Like I knew something was off there, and particularly in the attic, which we turned into our bedroom. And like, I knew it was just weird. It was not good. And I would lay in bed and I would feel a gush come across the bed and hear like children's footsteps running and like laughing past. And I would like explain it away.
Yeah.
You explain it away as like, oh, I'm sure I was just like half asleep and maybe I just dreamed that.
It's because if you truly like leaned into the fact that you're hearing and experiencing those things, you'd be, for me, like I'm a very sensitive human just generally, like more so than most. I do think lots of people are sensitive, but I think I'm like a little bit hypersensitive. And like if something like that happened to me regularly, I wouldn't get out of bed. I would just hide under the covers. I wouldn't go into the kitchen and like continue life as usual and go to school or go to work. I'd be like, there is a scary spirit here and I'm in danger, girl, which is, I'm probably not. But I think that there's some people who are just like, oh no, that's just that spirit that lives at my house. And I just continue on going on. And like, I wouldn't be able to. So by some sort of weird, like self-preservation or defense, I just like, nope, nothing, didn't happen. Feels icky, but I'm moving on. I'm not going to allow any, like when we lived in a different house, one day I'll have my sister on because she has her own experiences and I'd like her to talk about them. But I always felt some sort of presence in that house. my sister actually saw things.
Mm.
Right? Like she actually literally saw a woman, which like I want to tell her story because she'll tell it. I never saw anything, but I felt
Is this the place where we had prom?
Yeah. It was an old schoolhouse that got converted into a actual house.
That was a weird feeling house. I never saw or felt anything weird there. By felt anything weird, I mean like, ooh, there's a scary ghost there. Like, but there was a vibe.
I literally remember I was recording. I had like this weird like recording like tape deck thing that my dad gave me that like it was 2 tapes. So I could record on one and then like loop it back. Other tape would record what was on the tape. And so I could do things like play guitar and sing or put on harmonies or whatever. So I used to play with it all the time. And I had these big headphones on and I was listening. And I remember I was writing songs. So I'd take a little break from recording and I'd write down lyrics or I'd be playing something. Every now there'd be pockets of silence. And this is in that place that my sister has her stories. And I remember I could hear in my headphones, no word of a fucking lie. It was like I could hear talking, like I could hear it. Like people were talking, but I couldn't really hear what they were saying. Weird. And I was like, oh, it must just be that this like maybe it's picking up radio. That's what I thought it was. Like maybe there's, because it is like an audio thing. Perhaps when I'm using it, it's picking up some sort of radio signal and I'm hearing radio. That's how I rationalized it. But it freaked me the fuck out and it happened a lot.
Do you still have this little tape?
I don't think it was on the tape. Like it didn't record it on the tape. It was like in the pockets of silence when I was like writing down lyrics and I had the headphones on. I'd hear them in the head. I hear it in the headphone.
Oh, weird. I thought it would be on the tape.
No, okay. It was never on the tape.
Mm.
But in terms of your original question, which was, should I tell my story now or later? I say I can tell it next time, I think. You got some. Yeah.
I have like 55,024 other stories to tell. So
fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, I
just get into it.
Have a little ghost symposium every now and then.
I want to bring people on who have their own creepy stories to tell. Like you're going to bring your friend Hannah on. I'm going to bring my sister on. Maybe get some psychic to come in and talk about it. I mean, we're going to do talked about doing Ouija board stuff and trying to channel spirits through the Ouija board, which kind of freaks me out. Like right now, like it's nighttime where I am right now. That would freak me out. We have to do that during the day. Yeah, lots of things to do. Lots of fun things to do.
Well, Rachel.
Okay.
I'm half in the bag. And it is 9:23.
8:23 here.
Ooh, and I have to go dream feed my baby. That's where I wake her up.
Oh, right.
And I give her milk. She's cute. She's I need my milk. Oh, please. Honestly, we could get rid of it, but she's just so fucking cute that we're like, and at the dream feed, she's just like the sweetest, most docile little baby. You just want to eat her up. So we look forward to it every night.
That's adorable. I don't want to take that away from you.
I think we need to sign off. Kim and Rachel signing off.
Thanks for listening. It's
Join
weird.
Us again.
Please keep listening because I would like to leave my bank job. But it's weird to pretend like people are listening. There's no one listening. There will be. I believe there will be. But it's like, so those that are listening, blah, blah, blah. It's like, there's no one listening. I don't know. No one knows yet.
My entire day, I pretend people are listening. And I'm a fucking hoot. They have a great time.
Yeah. I am my biggest fan. And I laugh at myself.
I love it.
Laugh.
I love me.
Yeah. But there probably are people listening and they're probably spirits. Ooh.
I hope they like me.
Yeah, they do. I mean, how could you not?
Sorry, I just ADD'd and started reading the news while we were talking. Let's sign off and then you and I will stay on to schedule the next one.
All right. So goodbye.